distinguished members, ACC past presidents, Board of Trustees, Board of Governors, new fellows of the college, new associates of the college, guests, families, and friends. 1 year ago, when I took the stage at the Convocation in Chicago, I predicted that it would be an exciting year for the college. And it has been indeed an amazing year. I'm proud of the ACC's efforts to promote patient-centered care. I'm proud that we have, for the first time, a public member of the ACC Board of Trustees. I'm proud of our increasing global outreach and of the new resources we have developed to promote patient engagement and to make life easier for the healthcare team. In fact, those of you who know me well know that I love technology. I suspect most of us in this room also do. But as I reflected on this past year, on our collective achievements and the memories that are most important to me, I realized that the most salient features of the past 12 months had little to do with new apps, new technologies, new discoveries, or new data. Instead, what will stay with me most are those events that fostered an intense human connection. One event stands out to me in particular, the experience of being a torchbearer at the 2012 Summer Olympics. Now, I have to preface these comments by saying I'm not a runner. I only started to exercise regularly a few years ago with a Russian trainer, nonetheless. But I hated running. An invitation to carry the Olympic torch can have a profound impact on one's preferences, however. So I started preparing. I started enjoying the idea of running with the torch. I figured I could handle 400 yards carrying a 3-pound weight overhead. The torch itself was symbolic at multiple levels. It was made of 8,000 tiny rings, representing each of the 8,000 runners that would carry it to its ultimate destination. But it was the people that stand out in my memory. Most of the torchbearers were champions of health in some way, either as professional healthcare givers or through having overcome their own adversity and then using their experience to help others. The person whose flame lit my torch had had craniopharyngioma. The tumor, and 5 surgeries later, had left him blind. Yet he was known throughout Oxford for his volunteer work with numerous patients at the local hospitals. The person whose torch I lit had been crippled by scoliosis, and then multiple surgeries had left him paralyzed from the neck down. Yet after persistent physical therapy, he was able to walk again, and here he was carrying the Olympic torch. Another torchbearer was a diver who had been in a coma for a month. Gradually, he woke up, and now back to normal. All the people I met had amazing life stories. I felt humbled and grateful to be among them. Then there was the run itself. Each torchbearer is flanked on each side by 2 official runners from the Olympics who are there to make sure nothing goes wrong. There's also a van that follows you. I thought just in case you collapse or need to be carted away, they could have made that van a little less obvious. Initially, I thought I would just walk, take it slow, savor the experience. Actually, that's what I told my wife. But when I got to my post, the official runner asked if I had any disabilities. And when I said no, he said, let's run. So we ran. And for the next several minutes, I was hardly aware of my legs or even of running. The overwhelming sensation was of the crowds cheering along the sides of the street. Their excitement, their exultation, their eagerness to cheer us on, these overpowered every other thought or feeling I had. You just wanted to give back to them, to acknowledge the power of the moment, to let them share in the joy of it all. Those 400 yards went by in a flash. All the preparation I had done was important, and I'm happy to say I wasn't even out of breath at the end. Believe it or not, one of the news announcers commented on that, and I was proud. But the preparation was just a means to an end. It allowed me to fully experience the main event and concentrate on the human connection it was meant to foster. This is very much like the practice of medicine. All the preparation, all the checks and balances in place to help us avoid disaster, but the real point of it all is to be sufficiently masterful that we can concentrate on the human connections we make with our patients and our colleagues. New fellows and associates of the college, you are the torchbearers for cardiac health. As we meet year after year at this convention, you are the ones starting this journey, and you will pass it along to subsequent generations. I can feel your excitement tonight, but remember that just like the Olympic torch, what we give to one another is symbolic, and it is a means to an end. What we all want is human connection. Some of our patients come to us in greater need of warmth and hope than any medicine or procedure we will ever be able to offer. The same is true for us healthcare providers who are increasingly stretched thin. We too are in need of human connection with one another. This meeting, to be sure, has been focused on disseminating information, the most exciting findings, the most promising directions and research. But the reason we come together to meet face-to-face is because there is no substitute for human connection. Technology is wonderful, and it makes access to information unbelievably quick and easy. But as much as better information can help our patients and help us improve our practices, mere information is not sufficient to produce change. It is relatively easy to know what one ought to do. It is far more difficult to do as we ought to do. For that, we need motivation and support, time for reflection and understanding. Too seldom do we talk about this gap between information and wisdom. I think it is because the solution is not amenable to posting on a website or measuring on a test. Yet it is often what we seek. We talk about patient-centered care, and I believe it's important. I'd like to talk about human-centered medicine in general, medicine that takes into account our human needs, whether as patients or providers, for communication, presence, warmth, respect, and appreciation, the very qualities that are most threatened by our increasing lack of time and bureaucratic burdens. I'm suggesting we put the heart back into cardiology. I submit to you that this is as important in securing the future of healthcare as taking care of patients at present. It is our collective duty. I have no doubt that each one of us does our best to carry out our responsibilities, be it as a caregiver, pharmacist, researcher, or administrator. But I want to encourage all of you to remember the importance of the human connection. Keep searching for what people around you really need. Find your compassion, find your passion, and see it through. Engaging beyond the call of duty enriches our professional and personal lives. I have learned so much from being engaged in the college throughout the years. It has contributed so much to my own growth as a physician and as a human being. This past year has been the pinnacle of my learning process thus far because it has brought me into contact with so many sterling individuals I would not have met otherwise. I want to close by thanking the members of the Executive Committee, trustees, governors for their wisdom, my colleagues at the Methodist DeBakey Heart and Vascular Center, who selflessly stepped in to fill the void that opened as I carried out my presidential responsibilities, for our member volunteers and the incredible ACC staff who are tireless in their efforts to carry the mission and vision of the college, for my family who's here tonight, who have been so supportive every step of the way, keeping up with my trail on our large physical map of the world that I described to you last year. The 65th trip of the year on this map brought me here to San Francisco among all of you. It has been a phenomenal, enriching, and memorable year. I want to thank you for your trust and for the opportunity to serve the college. Thank you very much. My last duty as president is to pass on the torch, actually the presidential chain. And it is to your next president, Dr. John Gordon Harold.
Bill, before you sit down, please stay at the lectern for a minute longer. As newly elected president of the college, it is my pleasant duty to present to you the past president's flag, signifying your many contributions to the college. It reads, "The American College of Cardiology expresses great appreciation to William A. Zoghbi, MD, FACC, in recognition of his remarkable leadership as president of the college, 2012-2013, San Francisco, California, March 11th, 2013.